that I want to make are, I think, important. The first one is to acknowledge the fact that City of Des Moines employees have always been great at stepping up and making contributions to agencies and programs around this community that really do make a difference. It's extraordinarily important that those things happen. It makes the community better. And frankly, I think all the agencies augment what the city holds as a mission to improve and maintain our community. And the last thing I want to say is there's no gun to the head to anybody here, any of our employees to make a contribution. This is all voluntary. You all have a choice about whether or not you do this. But I do think it's a great program. I do think the opportunity to do this is a good one. And the fact that we do it through a payroll deduction program, I think, makes it easier for everybody to do that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Laura Graham. Laura is the assistant in my office that manages this whole process for the city. She's doing a great job. It is a lot of work to do, as I'm sure she will attest. So your support for her efforts in that regard will be most appreciated. So again, thank you all for being here. I think the presentations that you're about to hear will be really interesting and enlightening. So thanks again.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me okay? Is this on? Okay. We have 14 charities this year that were selected, and for I think the first time in a couple of years, we have each and every charity here to present this morning, which is tremendous. So thank you to all of you who have taken the time out of your day to come and tell our employees a little bit about what your organization does. Also, this charity campaign cannot be done without our 2013 Combined Charities Committee. They're all hard workers, and they're all really excited about getting engaged in this and really helping out their employees within their own departments and helping me out. I can't do it all by myself. So we will go ahead and get started. A couple of things, I guess, first is this year we have a new website where you'll be able to log in as an employee to take a look and find out a little bit more about each of the charities that are available through our campaign this year, which is pretty exciting. This is the first time we've done this, and you can go ahead and do that online directly, so there's no paper form if you don't want to use one. The other thing is this is being recorded today, so if you want to let your staff know about this information, you'll also be able to tell them that this presentation will be available through a YouTube video link directly on this website. The website address is combinedcharities.dmgov.org. So without me talking anymore, I'm going to turn this over to Brandy Horton. She's our loaned executive with United Way of Central Iowa.
Hi guys, like she said, my name is Brandy and I'm a loaned executive right now with United Way of Central Iowa helping out with their 3-month campaign. I'll return back over to Nationwide on November 19th and I'm a PIP adjuster for them. But first off, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I know this is probably pretty lengthy to hear, 14 different presentations. And United Way of Central Iowa, we're just located right over by DMAC and the urban campus. And what I've learned the last couple weeks just in training and being out in the community and helping out with some of our agency partners is that United Way of Central Iowa really envisions within the community individuals and families that are able to reach their highest potential in education, income, and health. As each of you guys may know, there are 18 loaned executives this year helping out with the 3-month campaign. And the old way, if you guys know, on the old way of campaigns, we would come out to organizations around Des Moines, West Des Moines, Urbandale, and Johnston, and ask for money, and then give them out to the agencies that were doing well in our community. But I can tell you at this time, since 2009, some things have changed. At this point, United Way of Central Iowa is reaching out to nonprofit agencies, schools, and healthcare providers, just to address our underlying issues in our community in education and income and health. At this point, we have decided to put stakes in the ground and set 3 bold goals that we would reach by 2020. In education, we'll cut in half the number of adults who are not graduating on time. And in income, we'll cut in half the number of families and individuals who are financially unstable and unable to meet those daily basic needs. And in health, we'll cut in half the number of individuals who are living unhealthy lifestyles. I just want to give you guys some dollars of, if you guys decide this year to pledge $1 a week, what each of your contributions will do. In education, just $1 a week will provide a week of after-school academic skill-building programs for our elementary and middle school students. In health, $10 a week will pay for 6 counseling sessions to help lower-income workers in mental health issues. And an income, which this one kind of hit home to me because I have 2 little guys, $19 a week provides dental sealants for 8 children at a mobile clinic at their own school. So ways that you guys can get involved in your investment if you are interested in the education piece that we're working on is we do have 2 programs that you can give at a leadership giving, which is $1,000 a year, or combined in your household. Let's say I work at Nationwide and I currently give $700 a year to United Way, and my husband works at Principal and he gives $300 a year. So combined, that's $1,000. So you guys can be in ELI, which is Education Leadership Initiative. And this program really focuses on our youth from the transition between middle school and high school. As each of you guys may know, and if you know people that have had teenagers drop out of school, they don't decide one day just in their junior year or senior year to drop out of school. The other program, if you guys are interested, is the WLC program, and this is the Women Leadership Connection. This area really focuses on age birth through age 5 through kindergarten. Statistics show that children that are born in low-income families and poverty aren't ready to learn by the time they enter kindergarten and are not able to read by the time they're in 3rd grade. Some of the benefits that you guys can get from this, there's volunteer opportunities, development opportunities, tons of functions. You can get involved with Read to Learn to the 3rd graders, and then you're given timely communication about where your dollars are being invested and how you're making an impact. I'm going to leave with you guys today a brochure that just talks about more about United Way in each of the areas, the education, income, and health. If you are interested, some more statistics for you, where your dollars are going and how that investment's being used. And I encourage you guys, I know there's some negative thoughts sometimes is what I've heard since I've been out in the community about United Way. Go out to our website. This year, for the 8th year in a row, we were ranked at a 4-star rating by Charity Navigator, which is a very big deal. So I just encourage you guys to go out, see where we're using your money, go out and either volunteer at one of your favorite charities like I do, or be an advocate, or just give $1 a week. But thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys having me here today.
Thanks, Brandy. Next here, we've got the Des Moines Community Action Agency's Holiday Food Project. And with us today is Shannon Bills and Barb Hildebrand. We'll let them get set up here.
Do I have to use this? Can I just use my voice? If you would, to video. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm Barb Hildebrand, Shannon Bills. We're both with the Des Moines Community Action Office. We're both family development specialists there. I know that we're all here with a very common purpose, and that purpose is to make our community a little bit better. And for the last 30 years, we at the Des Moines Community Action Office have put together a number of programs. The one we're here to talk about today is our holiday food baskets. For 30 years, we have been partnering with the community, with churches, with schools, with the different Des Moines departments, and businesses to put together the baskets. The baskets serve needy families in the community. Each of our baskets serve kind of a dual purpose. First, to provide holiday staples so that people can have a holiday meal. But second, more importantly, it provides additional food to families who at a time their budgets are struggling. And over the holiday break, kids are not able to get meals at schools. Many of our families, their children receive 1 and 2 meals every single day, and they just can't do it over the holiday. So some of them would go without food if services like this were not available. Our baskets are set up to serve people. So if you're a family of 5, you would receive a little larger basket than a family of 3. And in addition to the non-perishable, we've got an example here. In addition to our non-perishable items, we also provide a $20 gift card so that families can purchase a turkey or a ham, or if need be, produce or perhaps milk for their families, depending on what their specific need is. Our goal this year is to serve 1,000 families, and that's what we need your help with, helping to serve all of those families.
I'm Shannon, and have been with this program. This will be my 4th year, and it's very exciting to be with this program. I get to see the families who sign up and the families that get to come and receive these every year. what I want to bring to your attention is a lot of these people that come and get this basket are your neighbors. You may not see them, you may not know them, but they are there. They are in the city of Des Moines, and unfortunately, with the economy and some other things that maybe come into play, we see quite a bit of that. So with this, it can be a lengthy process, but as Barb said, with the holiday food, we're able to help during that struggling time. It is based on income, so they have to be at 150% of poverty to be able to come in and sign up for this, and we would appreciate all the help. One of the examples that I have is that more recently I had a couple come in, and they were struggling, and they have 3 teenage boys in the house. He has just lost his job, and he was just not really wanting to be with me in my cubicle. And the mother, I think, was the one who was there seeking the assistance, and he started to cry. He says, "I've never asked for help. I really don't want the help, but at this time, because of the things that we have, she only has a part-time job, we just need the help right now." And so, I'm glad that we're here and that we can help those kind of people. And hopefully, he says, hopefully next year I will not be back. And he said, I'm like, well, if things don't work out, then please come back. That's what we're here for. So your money would go towards a very good program, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We'll let them go ahead and get their stuff set up. All right, so next we have Lindsay Pingle with the Food Bank of Iowa. Hi. We're going to go ahead and hand this over to you.
Good morning. Well, hello. My name is Lindsay Pingle. I am with the Food Bank of Iowa. And for those of you that don't know, the Food Bank of Iowa, we are located about 5 or 6 minutes just east of here. And our main goal, what we do is we distribute donated grocery and USDA commodities to partner agencies. And these are the pantries, the soup kitchens, the shelters, non-residential daycare facilities, youth programs, in a 55-county radius throughout the state of Iowa. Out of our facility here in Des Moines, we serve 285 of those agencies in 42 counties. The remaining, do you care if I don't use this? If you would, because we're oh, okay. The remaining 13 counties and about 187 agencies are served through our redistribution organization, which is the Food Bank of Southern Iowa. So for a little bit of background, the need today is extraordinary. 1 in 8 Iowans are food insecure. 1 in 5 children do not have enough to eat. So that accumulates to about 408,000 individuals in our state. Most of our food comes in through private donations, manufacturers, donated grocery product, and USDA commodities. Besides traditional food banking, we also operate 3 successful programs. The Backpack Buddies program, which serves right now over 2,400 children in 10 counties at 41 different sites. They receive a backpack of food on the weekends when they don't have access to the federal free and reduced price meal program. So to ensure that those kids are getting food on the weekends and don't have to worry about it. This year, something exciting, we partnered with the Department of Corrections on what we call the Fresh Produce Project. And that project is 12 acres are designated for us to grow fresh produce. And this year, we brought in over 100,000 pounds. So just another nutritious, great way to bring in food and get it out to those clients in need. Finally, we also do what is called our HUSH program, which is a partnership between the Iowa DNR, meat lockers, and deer hunters, where after the hunting season is over, hunters have the ability to continue hunting and donate that deer to a locker where it will be processed, harvested, and broken down into ground venison. Last year, over 285,000 pounds was donated. So again, another nutritious, versatile product to get out to those in need. So donations, they come in not only, donations aren't only what we need in terms of helping those. volunteers. We work with a staff of 14 here out of our Des Moines facility. The facility, our redistribution organization in Ottumwa, they have 5. So to do what we do, volunteers are vital to our success. Last year, over 4,600 hours were donated. And there's so many ways that people can get involved, whether it's coming to our facility, sorting food, packing for backpack buddies, working at events, and advocating for our cause. You know, what I've learned in this position is in order to engage people, they have to understand what you do. And for us, there's a lot of miscommunication. We don't serve the clients one-on-one. We see ourselves as kind of an extended grocery store. And for our partner agencies, we're a resource for them to come get the food. They don't have to worry about it. And they can really focus on programs that they need in their communities to help even further than just making sure these individuals have food on a daily basis. So that's kind of an overview of what we do. If you need any other information, I'll leave some packets here. All of the information is on our website, www.foodbankiowa.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so next we have Hospices Central Iowa, and with Hospice, we have Katie McIntyre.
Hi, I'm Katie McIntyre. I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for, we're now called HCI Care Services, but you're probably more familiar with the name Hospice of Central Iowa. That's because we've been around since 1978. We were the first hospice care provider in Iowa, and most people know us here in the Des Moines area for our Kavanaugh houses, which are a really great asset to the community. If you've ever had a loved one experience hospice care, or had, I think because of this great care facilities we have, people don't always associate, that's really a small percentage of what we do with our Kavanaugh houses. That's about 30% of our patient base. We serve patients wherever they call home, whether that's the home they've lived in for years, nursing facility, assisted living facility, and whatnot. But yes, our Kavanaugh houses, we have one on 56th Street and one out in Easton Boulevard on the east side of town as well. We were formed in 1978. We're a nonprofit hospice provider. Sometimes people kind of think hospice is one large entity, and it's just like another healthcare decision. There are a variety of hospice providers to choose from, but we are a nonprofit, and we are the oldest hospice provider in the state. In addition to the greater Des Moines area, which is certainly where our largest patient base is, we serve 35 counties in central, south central, southeastern Iowa. So that's a lot of jobs for people in Iowa as well as in the greater Des Moines area. So and that way we like to think that we're an asset for the community for healthcare jobs, but also an asset to people whether they've received hospice care or not. A lot of people don't know, but we offer bereavement services, bereavement support. So if a high school child was killed in a car accident, then we're here to help people come to terms with their grief, another resource for the community. A little bit more about what we do. If anybody's had hospice care experience, it's really the focus is on quality of life. We like to say that hospice isn't about dying, that hospice is about living, and it's really finding quality of life and making the most out of those hopefully months that we have left. That's a big misperception with hospice care. Hospice is actually a 6-month benefit under Medicare. So ideally, we'd like to have people earlier in their course of their disease prognosis, because we can do a lot more for both them, and hospice care provides holistic support for their families as well, which is kind of a unique program that is really a vital need in our community at a time when people need it most. Where does the money go? That's the big question I'm here about, right? So we have our foundation, and through our foundation, we ensure that all people who are hospice eligible, so that their doctor has given them a 6 months or less diagnosis, can receive the care that they need regardless of their ability to pay. While we do receive payment through Medicare, Medicaid, a lot of private insurers have the hospice benefit, our foundation ensures that anyone can receive the care regardless of their ability to pay. It also applies to residency fees at our Cabinet houses for those in need. We've had people who are homeless who we've taken into our Cabinet house because they need that support, and it is a need in our community. But the other one that's really special is our quality of life program. It's hard to think about quality of life sometimes when you've been ravaged by serious illness for a number of years. That can take a big toll on families. For example, this past year, one of our donations was something as seems so small, but paying an electric bill for a family because the wife of the patient had quit her job to be the family caregiver, and they'd paid all these medical bills and couldn't pay the electric bill. So our foundation donations go to pay for things like that. It also goes to pay for special wishes for our patients, which a lot of times means reuniting loved ones. Sometimes families are in the situation where they have to make a really tough choice. Do I come home to see mom and say goodbye, or do I come home for the funeral? And with our quality of life program, we're able to help so that they don't have to make that choice, and they can do both. And then even while they're here, they can do something fun. Like hospice, our major demographic is seniors, but cares for all ages. And one wish that was on the news station last year was a patient who had a young family and just wanted to create some fun memories with his kids before he passed away. And it was winter, and they wanted to go to Florida, but he couldn't make it to Florida because of his health condition and because of finances. So these donation dollars through campaigns like the one I'm talking about today made it possible that we had a kind of tropical getaway vacation for he and his family at the Ramada Tropics Resort. They got a suite and a pizza party, and the kids all thought it was the coolest thing ever. So just helping them have some happy moments with the time left remaining. So thank you for your support. It's a vital need in the community and when people really need a little extra help.
Thanks, Katie. Next, we have the Friends of Des Moines Parks, and we have Jane Hine here to talk a little bit about their organization.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. I have a fresh off of the press news bulletin that I was hoping that I would be able to get to all of you so you could go along with me to look at it, to look at our projects. However, at the bottom it gives our mission statement, and it says to preserve, protect, improve, and promote the use of Des Moines parks, greenways, and recreational programs for all neighborhoods and citizens. For everyone. This touches everyone at all stages of our lives. We have our board here down the side. We are a 501c3, so we do send out letters if people do make special contributions for tax purposes. In the very front, there is a check that you can see. We have given that amount back to the community in 2011. So we wanted that right on the front so people would see what our financial situation was for last year. On the back, we have some of the programs that we have been working with. The top one is Ewing Park. We are working on revitalizing Ewing Park, and we've had a lot of community interest in that. We are the official sponsor of yoga in the park. We bought a speaker system for them to use not only at Grays Lake for yoga, but all around the park system and in the community. Beautifying and enlivening the park history. Drew Tolleson is a gentleman that has done a lot of history, worked on the history of the parks, which is very important to promote and move forward for all of us as our kids as they come along, so we don't lose that history. We're putting out signage for that. We have an inclusive amenities, a couple of parks that we've worked with for this. Evergreen Park and Franklin Field, we have put in exercise equipment for outdoor equipment for the folks that need some additional help, as well as regular folks. But we are working at Grays Lake for a wheelchair accessible dock for canoes and kayaks. and we've gone to the foundation, the Grays Lake Foundation, to cover this, as well as individual contributions. We've been amazed at the people that are willing to come forth and give funding. We have bicycles for wheelchairs, hand cranked, that will be stored at Grays Lake. There's a lot going on. Our major free flicks, we've given money for the free flicks in our parks, park benches. Swimming lessons, that was what we started out with 4 years ago. This year we gave 1,145 scholarships to the kids that were unable to have funding for their own swimming lessons, and this takes place in our 5 city pools. Now, if you multiply that out by $30, we usually try to give $5, even at $25, but nobody's turned away. All kids need to swim. Okay, if you multiply that, that's over $30,000. And so your money that you donate goes to help kids right here in the community. There is no money taken from staff or official. We're all volunteers that do this. If you would like to become a friend, there's a membership application on the back. We would like for, it's $20 or more if you would care to give a little bit more. But hopefully you will go back to your groups and say that this is something that covers a lot of people in our community. Also, last year we had Dr. Crompton come and speak about the importance of our parks in our community, the valuation of our homes, etc. Okay, this year what we're doing, if you would look on your front of your paper, on October 23rd at 7 o'clock at night, we are having the premiere of the Ding Darling premiere that will be held at the Temple of Performing Arts at 7 o'clock, and it's free. And if you recall, you've read a lot in the paper lately about Ding Darling. He is one that, for conservation, he was a political cartoonist right here in Des Moines and actually left, did not prefer New York over Des Moines. He loved Des Moines. He actually gave some parkland for right here in Des Moines. So this is free. We would love to have you come. There's over 400 seats at the Temple of Performing Arts. So the only thing they'll have is if you would like to purchase one of the DVDs, that would be available there. But it is a free endeavor. So come. We would love to have you come and share this with us. And also, if you would like for us to speak to a group, your neighborhood association, whatever, we would do that. We would be happy to do that. And let us know. And we will get you more news bulletins or whatever you might need for your groups. I would be happy to do that. Thank you very much, and I hope you will help support us.
Thanks, Jane. Next, we have Dory Briles with the Des Moines Public Library Foundation. We'll give her a second here.
I'll be brief. Tonight is our Author Awards Dinner, which is the one fundraising event we have for the public library each year. And in the Public Library Foundation, there are 2 employees, and one's been out with pneumonia, so it's been kind of a one-woman show here this week. But what I will leave for each of you is a little informational piece about the Public Library Foundation. The foundation is 14 years old, so compared to a lot of foundations around the community, it's fairly young. And we exist to advocate and raise funds for the Des Moines Public Library. And this is to supplement what city tax dollars can't provide, which with budget cuts has been a kind of an increasing need over the past few years. To start off, I'd like to little quiz. How many people do you think come through the library each year? This would be all the 6 branches. Any guess? Well, it's Sarah knows, yes, 1.3 million people. So it is an amazing number of people coming through, and all the library offerings the events, activities, they're free. The Library Foundation helps with, right now we're trying to raise some extra funds for what are called AWE computers, which is great, but these are computers to help build with children's literacy efforts. They've had them for ages 2 through 6, and now we're wanting to raise additional dollars. They have special computers for what they call after school for ages 8, 9 through 14. But another quiz question, and we have a little prize for this one. Steve Berry was one of the visiting authors this year for the AVID series, Iowa Authors Visiting in Des Moines. It's an author series that is totally funded by the foundation, raises all the money for that. And anywhere between 2,000 and 4,000 people per year attend those, again, free. I've been with the foundation now 6 months, but this year we had a woman who, after the program, sent us the nicest little note. I'm blind. I love coming to AVID. And I didn't think about it, but yes, it's something she can sit there and listen to the author. And she said, I really enjoy checking out the audiobooks from the library. So the library serves all sorts of populations, and we also have some the library staff are tremendous. So another quiz question, how many reference questions do you think were answered last year by the reference staff? And the closest answer will get Steve Berry, one of our authors that visited this year. No? Small, lower, I'll give some clues here. It's less than the number of people visiting. 800,000. Lower.
200,000.
Close.
250.
250 over here. I think that's an amazing number of reference questions. The Library Foundation also helps with computers. The library offers public access computers, and if you walk out or to any of the at Central or the branches, those computers are busy, and they also provide free internet connection. So that's something your libraries offer you. I know some people will say, and we just had a session this week, and I loved it because people say, well, Dory, libraries with e-books and all of this now, or libraries going to be going away. Well, I've always responded, well, when I researched for the interview for this job, that when radio came out, oh, this will be the death of libraries. When TV came out, they've always said that. When paperback books started being published, oh, that will be the death of libraries. So now, even with e-books, the library just announced a new e-book collection. They've added 15,000 titles, and they have e-readers that people can check out. So the library, I think, what I see, they've throughout time embraced the new technology. The one thing the foundation has done this year is pledged $50,000 for a new strategic planning initiative for the libraries. And we had the consultants in this week, and they put up a really nice visual photo of an elevator and a photo of stairs next to each other. And I sat there and I thought, okay, what's the point? Well, when elevators came out, they didn't replace stairs. And I think your libraries will be around for a long time. One thing I want to add, some people I know think, oh, the library, you have all these wealthy people supporting the foundation. And indeed, that's what really jump-started the foundation were 2 very generous donations to create an endowment. But on an annual basis, nearly 50% of the gifts to the Library Foundation are $50 or less. I've had people, stop in the office to write a check out for $10. So every gift is very important to the library. So I just thank you for your time today.
All right, thank you, Dory. Next, we have Jenna and Nathan, who's with the Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity. Thank you very much for having me here today, and thank you so much for your continued support of Habitat for Humanity. The City of Des Moines is a huge contributor and huge supporter to what we do in many aspects, especially with the Community Development Department, so I want to thank you for that. I want to tell you a little bit about what we do here in Des Moines and give you some opportunities for further involvement. So Habitat for Humanity was founded 36 years ago in Americus, Georgia as a very small grassroots nonprofit. Today, we're present in over 90 countries worldwide. Here in Iowa, we have 36 affiliates, and we're really proud to say that every 7 minutes, a Habitat home is built somewhere in the world. So definitely not a small grassroots nonprofit anymore, which means that we need your help to continue improving our mission and helping us grow to meet that need in the community. Here locally, we were founded 26 years ago, and this year we will be completing 26 homes that will sell to hardworking low-income families. Our families apply for partnership based on 3 criteria, which are their need, their willingness to partner, and their ability to pay. The need is that our families earn between 30 and 60% of the area median income for their family size. To put that in perspective, that means that a family of 4 is earning about $37,000 before taxes at that high 60% of the AMI. So hardworking families, many of them working in the service industry, healthcare, education, but not able to go to a bank and apply for a traditional mortgage, but through Habitat, we can help make that happen. In addition to the AMI, the need also encompasses living in either substandard or cost-burden housing. Substandard housing might be mold, water damage, and overcrowded situation, but what we see more of here in Des Moines and Polk County in general is that cost-burden situation, and that's when a family is paying more than 50% of their monthly income to rental or housing expenses. When they do that, they might not be able to afford things like health care, education for themselves and their children, sometimes even food and especially shelter. So what we want to make sure is that when they purchase a Habitat for Humanity home, that they're paying less than 30% of their monthly income towards mortgage, tax, and escrow. So that's the need. The willingness to partner is really unique to Habitat. That's our sweat equity component. That's where our families volunteer on site right along with everyone else to help build their homes, other homes. And they also take a blueprint to home ownership course where they learn about financial management, how to be a good neighbor, and how to protect their investment. So things they'll need to know to be not only a homeowner, but a successful homeowner. That's a 40 contact hour course. They also have one-on-one counseling, and we offer post-purchase education as well so that we can continue that cycle after the family purchases the home. So that's the sweat equity and the willingness to partner component. The third criteria is the ability to pay. That's the most important criteria. The biggest misconception with Habitat for Humanity is that we give our houses away. That is most definitely not true. Our families purchased the home for a 20-year no-interest mortgage. That's where you guys come in, that no interest component. Your donations and our volunteers putting in time on our sites help us to provide that no interest mortgage, to become the lender so that we're just selling the home for the cost of the land and the building materials so that they're able to pay about $500 to $550 a month in their mortgage slowly over time. Their mortgage payments then recycle to help us build even more houses in the future. So those are the criteria. As I said, we'll be building and selling 26 of those homes this year. In addition to that, about 3 years ago, we realized that Habitat for Humanity needed to be more than the house, more than one family at a time. So we created our Rock the Block program, and that is our focus on neighborhood revitalization. That's where we go into the neighborhoods where we're already building, and we work with families who already own their home to help them with minor repair, exterior beautification, and weatherization services. It might be something as small as replacing some siding, painting the exterior of a home, replacing a driveway, or it could be accessibility, so creating a handicap accessible ramp, lowering some cabinetry so that it helps people age in place, or it might even be something like weatherization, putting in new windows to make sure that the family can afford to stay in their home for the long haul. So in addition to those 26 homes, we'll be doing 80 of those Rock the Block projects. And with those Rock the Block, we also really listen to what the neighborhoods, the community has to say. So if it's not just the houses in the neighborhood, if it's a park that needs revitalization, if it's a school that might need some help, a YMCA, we make sure that we're partnering with them as well to make sure that the pride and perception in the neighborhood is really increased when we do a Rock the the Block project. So as I said, 26 homes this year, 80 Rock the Blocks, and then there's our Restore. Our Restore we're very fortunate to have. It's our new and used outlet store where we sell new and lightly used building materials to the public at discount prices. The great thing about the store is that it's tax-free to shop, so that's a huge benefit to those who want to come in and find a deal. We have everything you can find at the big box stores, so flooring, cabinetry, lighting fixtures, landscaping, plumbing supplies, area rugs. They're all sold at a discount. But the great thing about the store is that all those proceeds help benefit our mission and help us impact the community even further. The store actually pays for our overhead so that when you're making a donation to us, it's going straight to programming, straight to the community. It's not paying my salary, it's not keeping our lights on. So the Restore is a huge benefit to us, and as a donor should really make you feel good about donating to the organization and the sustainability that we have for ourselves. So I would invite you guys to visit our website, which is www.gdmhabitat.org, to learn more about what we're doing. We use about 9,000 volunteers a year, so I'd also urge you to come out on site. There's no skill, no previous knowledge required. We'll teach you everything you need to know, and it's a great way to learn how to improve your own home or learn some more about what we do for our community. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jenna. Next, we have Megan Milligan and Kara Vaughn with Anawim Housing.
Hi, I'm Megan Milligan with Anawim Housing. It's kind of fun to follow Habitat for Humanity because what Anawim does is provide permanent rental housing for those low-income families in our community. For us, we're really that bridge. For some people, it's, as you know, with the foreclosure crisis. For many, it's those families that were just barely making it and owned their own home, but due to a job loss or another crisis in their home, lost that household and needed to come to us to still have a safe place to live in that same neighborhood that they could afford. But we are also that bridge up. We're those families that are struggling, but through our programs got their GED, went on to get their nursing license, and finally have made enough to follow that American dream of owning their own home. And then we introduce them to the people at Habitat for Humanity, where they do make that dream come true as well. If you visited our headquarters, we're on Forest, just close to the Drake neighborhood. And along that strip, we have several of our single-family townhomes, attached townhomes. And then we also have some of the most historic and older homes in the neighborhood. We own on 6th Avenue, the first apartment building that was ever built in Des Moines. We have places that were built in the late 1800s that we have rehabilitated and restored and are beautiful pieces of property. And then we have brand new homes that were built by Hubble. We have choices living right in the center of the city, or if you prefer to live on the southeast side by the county soccer fields or the northeast side by Adventureland. We offer those choices as well. Because at Anawim Housing, we do believe that home is everything, and we believe that regardless of your income or your socioeconomic status, that you should be able to choose the neighborhood you live in, you should be able to choose the type of home you live in, and you should choose what schools your kids go to and what kind of access you have to your own employment. Speaking of employment, our residents are required to earn an income. For the majority of those, that is through traditional employment. For those that would like to move up in their employment, as I said, we offer programs that help them access their GED, access job training, and job placement. The remaining that don't have employment, like I said, are required to qualify for Social Security or other sorts of enhanced income. Anawim Housing, this is actually our 25th anniversary. We were founded 25 years ago by 4 community members that were all on various homeless boards and had noticed that if a family is homeless, the dad goes to one shelter, the mom and kids go to another, and they're almost never anywhere near their jobs or their schools. So they found a little house on 11th Street that was for sale. They found an executive director named Sister Stella, and together they bought the first home where parents could stay together and could stay right in the center of Des Moines and have access to the public transportation and could stay there as long as they needed. Very quickly, though, we added several more homes in that community to our portfolio, which allowed those families that were able to transition out of the shelter and into a permanent rental home. As I said, many of those homes have a front door, backyard, a back door, a yard, or close to a park, or close to the schools. For example, we have 27 homes that are along 13th and Forest that are right by the public library that has just been redone, right by a huge park, right by a school, and right by our headquarters. And so those kids are able to run around. If you go visit that neighborhood, you see the bike on the ground, you see the swing attached to a tree, you see the kids running off the bus and stopping at the library or going into their house and the parents waiting on the front porches. We are fortunate this year that Meredith Corporation just rehabilitated those porches. And in honor of our 25th anniversary, we've had a couple other initiatives. In November, we'll be cutting the ribbon on 28 new townhomes, and then breaking ground next year on another 60 homes. So for us, it's always about rehabilitating what we own, taking care of what we own, and then adding more to our portfolio, because every single day someone comes through our doors that we're able to place into the home that they call home for a long time, and then we're also having to turn someone else away because we just don't have enough. And so what we're coming to the City of Des Moines and to all of you for today is just help in continuing to build and take care of those properties, but also to be able to help empower those families through our family service program and other initiatives that we do to help make sure that they can stay in those homes and that their choice in moving on or sticking with us is their choice. So thank you.
Thanks, Megan and Kara. So next we have Kimberly Hansen, and she is here today with Rebuilding Together Greater Des Moines. She makes her way up here.
Thank you very much. It's great that we put all the housing agencies together, because I think Des Moines does a great job of making sure that we have the appropriate housing agencies for the needs in our community. And each of us in the housing agencies serve a different population with different items. And so even though to the outside world it may seem like we're overlapping, we're not. Rebuilding Together has been here in the community since 1995. Last year, we served our 1,000th home. That's hard to say, 1,000. We typically use over 1,000 volunteers each year, and our mission is to help people who aren't able to help themselves. In other words, we could be helping a veteran with a wheelchair ramp who just got home from the war. We could be helping a family put in a kitchen because the kitchen is just not viable for them or livable for the home that they just purchased. As you're getting the handouts that are coming out, I always, and this is kind of unusual, when you get our brochure, turn it to the back. And that's what you usually don't hear people say when they get a brochure in their hand. And that is the fact that the housing facts that we have to deal with right now in our community and in any community across the United States is the fact that people are needing to stay in their home, not leave their home as they either age or have financial issues. We're going to increasingly have more people in our community that, because of lack of employment or because of health reasons, cannot put a new roof on their house, cannot fix the foundation, cannot put in new windows so that they save on energy costs in the winter. Because what they're doing is they're making their house payment, they're trying to stay in their home. So we are there for families, individuals, for seniors, for veterans, for anyone who needs help. We're the Greater Des Moines area. We are one of 200 affiliates nationwide, just the same as Habitat and other agencies you hear about. And just the same as them is that we have to find our funds locally to support the local nonprofit. So we've been very fortunate to be in the community since '95. We also use volunteers as a leadership role. I'm the only full-time employee. I have 3 part-time employees and 1 AmeriCorps member. So what we do is we utilize volunteers to lead our projects. In other words, we are counting on the community to be also the leader in what we do out there for the community. So we take a different approach to our projects from that respect. We have longtime volunteers who've been house captains for us for years and years. And then every year we have a certain percentage that hear about our organization and want to get involved. And so we put them through a mentoring training program with our existing house captains. We also have leadership classes at DMAC, which is next door to us in the United Way building, is where our office is. And our classes are offered at the urban campus. We're in our 6th year of offering those classes, and it just goes right along with creating the leaders for helping the community. So
questions at all? I know I had a professor at Drake that told me I talk fast, so. I always tell people, you know, when you ask people from nonprofit agencies to come out and talk about what they do, you can do it at a drop of a hat because you know you live and breathe what you do every day for so much. So I know all of us are able to get up here and really talk about what we do. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Kim. Next, we have Audrey Daniels with the Blank Park Zoo Foundation. She's brought a friendly little critter with her, so.
Hi, my name is Audrey Daniels, and I'm from the Blank Park Zoo. I'm the development coordinator there. Thank you very much for allowing us to come to speak to you today. A lot of people don't realize that the zoo is a nonprofit, or if they do, they're just kind of learning about that since we're recently become a foundation. And many people also don't know that our contributions contribute to about 1/3 of our annual budget. So our admissions is actually only about 1/3 as well. So it's a pretty small portion. And our contributions are very, very important to the zoo, not only to keep it running, but to keep us growing and expanding. And if you've been out to the zoo recently, you've probably seen that we have lots of stuff going on. We just redid our seal and sea lion exhibit, and so we have an underwater viewing area. Last year, we also redid our Australia exhibit. And then this year, we are having construction on our brand new African exhibit, and we're bringing in rhinos this spring. So we have a lot going on, and to keep that moving, we have to have contributions coming in and more every year. So that's why it's really important to us. One of the things that the contributions do is we have education programs where we bring our little critters like this. And this is Shelby. He's an eastern box turtle, and we bring him on education programs to schools, libraries, and senior centers. So not only are we educating the public about conservation at the zoo, but we are also going out and spreading the word to everyone. Conservation is extremely important at the zoo, so we're not only there for recreation, we're there for education and conservation and teaching people why it's important to contribute and even look out for other organizations for conservation efforts around the world. So, are there any questions? Did I cover most? No? Anybody have any questions about Shelby? Well, thank you very much. That's kind of my quick spiel, and I really appreciate being here.
Thanks, Audrey. I think you guys will be pleased to know she thought about bringing a snake in, and I didn't know how that would go over.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have the Kiwanis Miracle League, and we have Nadine Kastner and Bob Kaufman. Bob's a former board member, and Nadine is a parent of one of the athletes. So let them talk a little bit about their organization.
Hi, everybody. Stand up and stretch, or if you had enough already. My name is Bob Kaufman. I am one of the founders, if you will, of the Kiwanis Miracle League. I was involved with the original inception of the idea that we need some place for kids with disabilities to play. And so we launched, Kiwanis, we have about 15 Kiwanis clubs in the Des Moines area, had to pool our resources and decided that Kiwanis needed some signature thing in Des Moines. And Kiwanis is all about kids, so is a natural fit. So over the past 4 years, we have been playing games every Saturday during a spring season and a fall season. We have over 200 children playing on 14 teams, playing a 7-game season. Our last regular season game is Saturday, tomorrow. And the fact sheet he's handing out has a lot of information I just won't take time to cover because you can study that on your own. What I'd like to do is give you some impressions of what we've seen, what's being accomplished through the Kiwanis Miracle League, and maybe a couple of anecdotes of things that have happened at the field. It's crazy. It's crazy. We talk about kids with disabilities. They're all over the place. to me, I've learned now they're not disabilities, they're capabilities. These kids are amazing. So Kiwanis Miracle League is, it doesn't cost anything for the families. Kids have their uniforms, their big cheese. It's got their name on the back, and they get up, they bat or whatever. To run that kind of an operation does take a lot of public support, and we appreciate the City of Des Moines for all that they've done to help us out and continue to help us out. With 200 players, just in rough terms, 200 players, it costs us for debt service and operating expenses about $200 per child for the season. So it's not a cheap operation, but we're getting a lot of that amortized out now. Well, it was built with in-kind for a great deal of the construction, so we're getting there. It's an amazing thing. We built this for the kids. We were thinking if we could just focus in and give them a chance to play a little baseball, do things their brothers and sisters are doing, that would be good enough. What we didn't realize was the rings of influence that would spread out beyond the player himself. We found that parents were coming to see their kids play, the siblings were coming. We saw family units come back together where some of these kids, frankly, had been kind of warehoused. Families were coming back together, so that was one ring of influence. The second ring of influence was all the volunteers it takes to do this. Let's say we have 15 players on a team, 2 teams, that's 30. Each player has a buddy, what we call angels in the outfield. Each buddy helps them bat, helps them field. Okay, so we got 30 players on the field. We've got 30 buddies. We've got 7 games. We're talking about 210 people every week. Some stay for more than one game, obviously, but it takes that much to put on the show. So that ring of influence, we have companies, we have high school sports teams, a large number of people who beg to volunteer once they've had the experience. So that has helped us with outreach throughout the community, helped bring more players to us, and it's turned out to be a phenomenal event. A couple of quick stories. I normally work behind the plate as kind of a field manager, chasing balls and bats and kids, and managing the tee if they need to hit off the tee. Working one day last summer, it was really, really, really hot. We were keeping a close eye on the kids, and the little guy squatting down in front of me was pretending he was the catcher, and his buddy was right here, and she's with Dowling softball team, I believe. So I'm keeping an eye on everything, and she's like, so I quickly get her off to the side. You okay? You need some water? Anything I can do? She was crying. That whole thing just hit her. Everything she was seeing was a totally new experience. And it just hit her. She was okay the second inning, but that first inning, wham. And we see that happen time and again from people who are there for the first time. Second story. Little guy batting, we live pitch. If they can, if they can manage that, we live pitch, and he's swinging and missing, swinging and missing, swinging and missing, swinging and missing. Getting a little late, let's hurry it up. His mother's his buddy. She walks up behind him and says, and he uses the T. He stepped up as straight and tall as he possibly could and said, nope, I can do this. The very next pitch, he hit it between first and second. That's character. That's what's going on over there. It's amazing. We watch these kids grow over four years or so. Now with me is Nadine Kastner. Nadine is a member of the governing board of the Kiwanis Miracle League, and her son is also a player, and she's had some experiences, I know, both on the field and at home. Nadine.
Thank you.
I'll make this quick. This is my son Ian. He's a Met. He's been a Met for 3 years, and then I was asked to be on the board about a year ago. And can you hear me okay? All I'll say is this league looks like, tastes like, feels like a regular league, and that's all kids with disabilities want, is to have friends and to have some fun. So it is every night before a game, Ian sets everything out, and he has the whole uniform. And so I just want to say thank you for considering us for your Charities drive. I've been on the board a year, and your money is so well spent. These people on this board are all volunteers, and they really steward your money well. So thank you for inviting us, and thank you for considering Kiwanis Miracle League.
Thanks, Nadine and Bob. And for those of you that don't know, the Kiwanis Miracle League in Field was one of our 2010 All-America City projects. So we had the pleasure of going with some of their athletes and board members and Angels in the Outfield down to Kansas City for competition a couple years ago, and that was a real treat. I also know the police department every year comes out as Angels in the Outfield for about one game each season. So.
Weeks ago, the police department, fire department, they're big deal with the kids. We also had the Barnstormers come out, Morning Buccaneers come out. They just love it. One very short story. We had the Barnstormers there, and I looked down at third base, and here's the biggest lineman I've ever seen for the Buccaneers, and standing on third base is a kid about this tall, one of our smallest kids. So I walked over to the buddy and said, "Can you remember when you were that small?" And he says, "I was born bigger than that." That's my mom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Davey. Okay, so next we have a special guest. We have Hannah Baines and Animal Lifeline, and she's bringing along what might be one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen.
Good morning. My name is Hannah Baines. I'm the Outreach and Event Coordinator for Animal Lifeline of Iowa. What separates Animal Lifeline of Iowa from other shelters is, one, we are specific to special needs animals, or cats and dogs, and we also are a no-kill shelter. Obi here, he's pretty curious to meet everybody. He actually came to us because the shelter that originally found him in Texas was going to euthanize him because he has some neurological issues. He was found with a severe ear infection and what's called a cherry eye, where the eyelid is actually swollen and infected and needs surgically removed. They were not going to take care of these things, and they were just going to euthanize him. So with some help of volunteers, we were able to transport him up here and take care of all of his issues, and we are currently testing for how to treat his neurological issues. We help animals like this every day, ones that need limbs amputated, ones that need surgeries just to improve their health. We deal with all types. And we rely solely on donations. We receive no government funding or anything like that, so we rely solely on donations, and we were very fortunate to be a part of this campaign for the last couple years, and we are so thankful that we were chosen once again, and we appreciate all of your guys' support. We also operate a thrift shop off of Southwest 9th and Park Avenue, which is a big funding for our shelter. It's just like any retail or Goodwill type store with gently used items. And so we're a very small shelter, but we do a lot, and we not only serve the Des Moines area, but all of Iowa, and as you can see across the country, as Obi's originally from Texas. So we try to help out whenever we can. Sometimes it's not always possible because we are so small, but we really try to do everything we can. So we appreciate all of your support.
Thanks, Hannah, and thanks, Obi. Next, we have Stephanie Feiler with the Animal Rescue League, and she'll talk a little bit about their organization.
Hello, thank you. Well, many of you probably are aware of the Animal Rescue League. We are contracted by the City of Des Moines to provide animal control services. And the biggest misconception about that is that we make a ton of money doing that. And I can tell you, as you're familiar with city budget cuts, we make no money doing that. So we have actually had to reduce our officers on the street this year, but are doing as much as we can with the 3 that we have. But I want to talk a little bit about what the donations actually go to. We do not use any donations to fund animal control operations, since those are a city contract issue. But most of what we do actually does less for the animals and more for the people. And so I want to give you a couple examples. We were recently chosen to be a city for a new pilot program called Pets for Life, where we are actually starting next month going into what United Way has declared the urban core and underserved populations and helping them with their pets. These people, we have found from some of our other outreach programs, love their pets. Sometimes they are the only things that they really have in their lives. We see these people who don't have enough food for themselves sharing their food with their pets and all of these other things. So we're really, and then they're unaltered, so they're getting pregnant and they're having cats or kittens and puppies, and then we're seeing that overpopulation. And also they're feeling the burden of that. So we are offering free spay-neuter programs for people who are on financial assistance programs in the targeted zip codes that we see the most unwanted animals coming from. So that's not only keeping the strays off the street, which is a public safety issue with rabies and bites and all of the other critters that they bring along with them sometimes, but it's also keeping their pets safe and keeping them from roaming. The #1 reason that a dog bites is because they're unaltered. They're not neutered. It's usually a male dog, unneutered, and roaming. So by having them neutered, they're less likely to roam, and then they're less likely to bite. So we also are going into schools and teaching kids about bullying and stereotypes by bringing in pit bull type dogs that have passed a CGC 10-point test. They're often stereotyped and bullied against because of how they look. We're relating that back to the kids, and the teachers tell us, thank you, we talk about bullying all the time, it's a hot topic right now, but kids really relate to animals, and they come in, they hear your story. The little dog that we bring in and tell how her story happened because of what people thought she was, and say to the kids, that's what your peers feel like when you pick on them. And then they are like, oh. So it's really connecting the two concepts. We also are getting dogs off chains, another reason that dogs often bite, and kids represent half of the dog bites nationally and in the city. So it's really a safety issue there too. And we're providing food to people who, excuse me, can't afford pet food, and their pets, often a lot of seniors, their pets are literally the only thing that they have to love and to love them back. So we're helping them with pet food, partnering with other organizations, partner with a lot of the organizations you've heard of today and many others. And ultimately, we will serve 20,000 animals this year. We have 900 in our care right now, and on average every day. So it costs $12.50 per animal per day to provide everything that they have, from veterinary care to food, shelter, and then ultimately adoption. Another misconception is that pets only have a certain number of days and then they're euthanized. It's not the case. We keep them until we can find them a home, as long as they're deemed safe for the public and safe for other pets, and as long as they remain mentally and physically healthy beyond what we can treat. We have 3 vets on staff, so we can treat a lot. We just had a cat that was adopted we had for a year. After 6 weeks, we put it in a foster home so it would stay mentally healthy, and then it was adopted later on. And we've had many other situations similar to that we pull out all the stops and try to make it building the human and animal bond. So thank you for considering us and for allowing us in the campaign.
Thanks, Stephanie. There's also information over here on the desk or on the table here from Animal Rescue League. So last but not least, we have Sandy Volpaka with Iowa Shares. And she'll talk a little bit about their organization and what they do for our community.
Good morning. Actually, now afternoon. Thank you all for your time. And it's interesting to be the last because Iowa Shares is very similar to United Way, because we're not like any of the one organizations that was here. Iowa Shares is actually a coalition, or actually a federation, of many organizations This year we have 15 organizations, and we work as a coalition, and we're all volunteers. We have one small office in Iowa City, and we work as that coalition, and all of our work is done as volunteers, and we work as sweat equity. And so when you give money to Iowa Shares, you can decide that you want to give to one of our 15 organizations. You can decide to give to Iowa Shares itself to help cover some of the administration costs. Or you can decide to give to an organization that is another 501c3 because that's the organization you prefer to give to. So with Iowa Shares, you have a lot of choices, and we honor those choices. And we welcome other nonprofits to become part of Iowa Shares. Because what we want to do is we want to grow Iowa Shares because we are actually more of a progressive. We want to bring in folks that have some of the same beliefs, that we can help each other. We can find ways to get more things done for Iowa without a lot of red tape. And we make the decisions of how to improve Iowa. And so Iowa Shares is 19 years old, coming up on our 20th anniversary. And we just do a lot of things to help our own communities. A couple of the organizations that we work with, we've been able to work with the gay and lesbian youth. And one of the organizations worked with homeless gay youth and gave them a safe place to be last year so that even though they were homeless, they continued to go to school and they were able to graduate with their class, even though they were pretty much couch surfing and didn't have a regular place to sleep. But when their class graduated last year, those homeless youth were able to walk across that stage. And with monies that you and folks across the state gave to that organization, that helped those kids. We've got an organization that, again, helps to spade and neuter animals and stops euthanizing them. So we've got folks that are groups that are part of arts and culture, part of civil rights and human rights. We work with folks that are with the environment. We've got our brochures here. We've got ways to make Des Moines, ways to make Iowa a better and stronger place for all of us. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be part of your campaign. Thank you for your support in past years. And thank you for considering us and donating to us. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Thanks, Sandy. All right, so that was the end of our presentations today. All 14 of them had a chance to present, so I hope you took away some great information from all these charities, and we look forward to kicking off our campaign here in the next few weeks. Thank you.